Hello and welcome back, everybody.
Hey, welcome back. Hello, hello.
It's so great to be here in the new year. And as Heidi and I were really thinking about where are we going for the year, number one, we all want to start this year with the most fabulous energy, right? Like, because how you start something, like, you don't start the year blah, and then some in the middle of the year be like, okay, here we go. It's kind of like, let's let's start it, but in starting it, like, let's see if we can maximize it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
right, and I think energy, Heidi, is one of those questions. If you ask people as a whole, whether they're walking into your office, whether they're on calls with me, whether you ask an average doctor, what are the most typical complaints people have? And one of the number one things people say is, I don't feel well. I just don't have the energy anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the most common remark people have or symptom that they have or acknowledgement that they have in this office is that I just don't have enough energy. I don't have the energy that I used to have. Had one in a client in yesterday that said, I'm just tired of not feeling like I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. I just don't have the energy. And I can't figure out why.
And I can't figure out why. Okay, so I love that. And before we get into kind of some science behind the physiology of the body creating energy, first of all, I'll say, every single morning when we wake up, we have a decision and a choice of like, how do we want to show up? And we have to bring the energy. We have to generate energy so that when we are out and about, we feel vivacious and alive and feel like we could go conquer the world. Just like your client was saying, I don't have the energy to do what I want to do. So it is interesting. So one, I'd say it's a choice, and we have to kind of reframe that sometimes because it's easy to just get in the rut or mode, just saying like, I don't have the energy today. I didn't sleep great. Yeah, I don't have the energy. Let's just not do it. We'll wait till I'm feeling better or get a better energy. But you can choose that, and we have to generate it. We create that inside of us. But to do so, there's things from different modalities and sleep and food and relationships and sunshine. Like there's so much we can do. But before we kind of jump into that and that we have to take that ownership and responsibility, let's talk about what is actually happening inside the body because the body makes energy to do every single cellular function from the level of cells communicating and talking to our organs and all of our systems. Like we have to have the energy to do the job so that we can feel like we can show up big and have that energy. So maybe let's kind of start there as how does our body kind of in some I don't know, simplistic terms of some ABCs, Heidi. Let's talk about how we make energy.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just go back to high school when we all heard about the mitochondria for the first time. Like, oh, what is that? The powerhouse of the cell. What does it create? ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And we have all these big words and all that. And that is the powerhouse of the cell. Our mitochondria is the thing. But there's so many fueling stations for that mitochondria that then that mitochondria is able to make an ultimate fueling station, that ATP, that regulates and transfers energy in and out of the cell, maintains that cellular energy constantly in our body. So that's sort of a sciencey way of saying, but what's brilliant, and if you've sat with Kellie and I for, 5 minutes and said, what do you think of the body? We think it's one of the most brilliant things on the planet. It's so many functions happen and we don't even have to think about it. We don't have to do anything about it. But there are some things that absolutely needs that if we did think about it, if we did do about it, we would have ultimate energy, which is kind of what are the basics, like how are you sleeping? Are you getting restorative sleep? If we're not restoring, and I said this to that same client that we talked about, I don't have the energy. If you're not sleeping, you're not restoring. If you don't restore, we're dying, right? If we're not eating right, if we're not feeding our microbiome, people, the microbiome is the center of all. It is the feeding ground. It is the genome, the giant second genome that then speaks to our mitochondria. that helps that mitochondria make energy, make that ATP. So what are we fueling our body with? And then the other level is what are we fueling our mind with? Just like you said, it's really easy to go, oh, I didn't sleep well, so I'm not going to go work out. No, no. When we work out, we make energy. This is one of those conversations that I have often about energy and I don't have it. I said, well, how are you making it? What do you mean? My body just makes energy. No, no, no. We have to make that energy by the sleep, by the how we fuel, how we think. Are we summoning up that energy from the best of one of our people that Kellie and I follow? He talks about showing up the best part of yourself, summoning up that best part of yourself. And I love that phrase and I love that thought. But are we thinking the best part of ourselves, pushing through those tough times? I didn't sleep well, but I still need to make energy and work out. I still need to make energy and eat well. Um, and this may be going more than you thought, but I didn't want to get too much in the weeds in the science. But so much goes of our microbiome goes to support that mitochondria, that powerhouse of the cell. Remember your high school days. It's still there, people. We still have to nourish it, coddle it, give it all that it needs. We have all this talk about NAD and NADH and how it helps our mitochondria. And these are byproducts of that. So even go further upstream and let's support that mitochondria so it can make enough NAD for us. And it continues to want to do so. ATP, NAD, NADH, all these energy molecules that you're hearing so much about out there. We can do that by some of these lifestyle changes. Make our own energy. It's up to us.
Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of walk through a typical day that could give people some ahas, like where could I create energy? And that's a lot, you guys, in your choices, in being able to pause. Don't go on autopilot, pause, and make a better decision. So let's start from waking up in the morning, Heidi. Like people wake up in the morning, and that very first thing that they are going to do is they often either reach for their phone and do some scroll. That's going to kill your energy, you guys, because
Yeah.
what you start thinking about right away sets the tone, and you don't want news, distractions, comparison to be what your mind is thinking about, right? So leave that alone. Do either some, mindfulness, meditation, journaling, gratitude. Make your mindset start in a positive way. And then a lot of people, very first thing, may be reaching for that fueling cup of coffee, which I love my cup of coffee. But yeah, I mean, Heidi and I are all for that. Coffee is a great thing, you guys, as long as you're not dousing it, right, with extra, crap inside of it. But even before that, Heidi, we talk about the few things to like get the body to wake up. And it's really that is your trigger, you guys, of saying, oh, okay, I'm responsible. I've dehydrated in the night. Let me drink my 16 ounces of water right away. Start that hydration. Oh, my body needs to know it's time to wake up and to get my neurochemicals and neurotransmitters to start making energy going. I better open my blinds and get sunlight or get outside, better yet, right? And I better have a little bit of movement. So again, my body knows it's time to get to work. So you don't all feel sluggish. So whether it's your walk, whether it's your push-ups and sit-ups, whether it's your vibe plate, whether it's your yoga stretching for 10 minutes, this isn't like a hardcore workout we're talking about. We're talking about just the getting ready, opening your body up for the day of what you're doing. So before we move into like fueling with food, Heidi, what else would you say in the morning is like your energy generators?
Yeah, if you're waking up and you feel like you're just slogging through, and the best energy generator, I would say, is take away the judgment. Don't judge your sleep. Don't criticize what you did, how you feel, just the labels and the immediate sort of assessment of judgment that we do to ourselves, I think really bogs us down. So this is where I love don't think, move. Like get out of bed, don't think, move. And if that means just running in place, okay, I'm gonna kind of trip my way outside. It's still dark because it's early and the sun hasn't come up. Okay, you're still with the circadian rhythm. Your eyes are still with that that level of circadian rhythm, and you're telling your system, your nervous system, your adrenals, I'm up and I'm ready to go. It just needs a little signal. Doesn't need all the signals, but it doesn't need to be bogged down by judgment, criticism, negative thinking. It's really, if I can say the one thing, it's really important to get up, get your feet on the ground, and just move. Get up and move. Don't think, don't judge, just move. And I guarantee you, just even moving or skipping, if you have a stairway or a hallway or whatever it takes to get to the kitchen to get the cup of joe, right? Um, make that just a little more exciting, a little bit more energizing, not shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Marching band march, whatever you can do, don't think, move. Even that little moment, that 10 seconds, 30 seconds that it takes to do that consistently, you'll be amazed how much it will change the energy in your day because you started the morning. As Kelly, you'll hear Kelly say all the time, win your morning, win your day, right? Win your day, win your week. I mean, it just compounds like good money, good investment. So one of the best investments you can do is to win your morning.
Okay. You guys, so even as that, like we could end the podcast there. That's and I hope you're like, "Oh, I'm going to implement that. This isn't good information to shelf. Like implement that, right?" Okay, so now we're going to move on to eating because so many people, if you're heading out to a job, like to run out the door with their cup of coffee. Maybe they're grabbing something starchy that like they can eat en route.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping those days are like few and far between and that we're out of that. And most of you guys, I mean, there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast. There's a lot of people who over on social media. So it's not necessarily only kind of women in this midlife era, but whether you are or aren't, you have to feel your body. You cannot run on nothing, right? When we're talking about generating energy, where are you going to generate it from? So, in that is the fuel that we're eating. And so, there really needs to be an emphasis on your proteins, your good fats, and your fiber to feed the microbiome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your fiber to break down that protein and that fat effectively to create long burning fuel.
And so, give them C's. People hear that, Heidi, and I think they're like, okay, well, what does that mean? And what would I sit down and eat to make sure I have my protein, my healthy fat, and my fiber? Because they're like, I hear it in theory, but tell me what to sit down and eat in the morning. Literally, people want they want
They
tell
want
me.
like that
They
recipe.
do. Yeah, yeah.
And
And at
and
least I think it helps people understand, oh, I am eating that way, or oh my God, I'm not eating that way, or okay, that's a great place to start.
yeah, with the age of intermittent fasting and, time restricted eating and stuff, I think we've gotten away a little bit from what is metabolically sound for
Yes.
most people, right?
Yes.
There's times where those are great to do at a stretch or to do every so often, but to, constantly challenge the body like that, it ends up being more stressful on our bones, or on our bones, on our cells than helpful.
Hmm.
And so I do believe that the morning meal needs to be impactful, needs to be robust to get us on our way. Like you said, plenty of proteins, fats, and fibers. Again, we've moved to, we went from breakfast to, oh, I'm quickie. The number of people that have a smoothie in the morning astounds me. I'm like, really? We're still doing smoothies? I throw my protein powder in, I have my berries. Okay, if that's the way we do it, but let's look at the balance of those smoothies. Okay, so I'll tell you what fuel your body really likes to eat because it likes to break down the food. It likes to convert it to molecules and then spread out to nutrition goes here, fat goes. It loves to do its job. Just like you don't want to go to your job and sit and twiddle your thumbs. You want to do your job and be good at it. Your body loves to do that. So as much as you can, I would recommend getting a protein. Eggs are good. But here's the trick. It doesn't matter. Have dinner for breakfast. If you have a leftover from dinner last night, go ahead and reheat it. Have it for breakfast. There's no rule and there's no breakfast police out there to come and go, I'm sorry, you didn't have eggs and bacon. We're gonna fine you, right? And the sixth time you're going to bacon jail. I don't know. That doesn't happen, right? It doesn't really matter. What matters is you get your protein, have your dinner for breakfast. If you have to have, you can do your eggs, you can grill a piece of chicken, you can have grill a large what is it? Like a steak or something like that, where you just cut off slices, throw in a little bit of arugula, have a teeny bowl of a fruit, not a strawberry, a blueberry, and a whole mound of it, right? We need 2 pieces of fruit a day. A handful of berries is going to be sufficient. Because what do we have? We need that carb, we need that fat. Have avocado oil or avocado, olive oil or olives on there. Just throw things in a pan, heat it up, or, but make sure you have all those components. That's the key, is the balance and the components.
That's the key. And I think, some people are like, I can't plan. I will tell you, planning, being disciplined, meal prepping will save you, right? So maybe you roast a big chicken or you have some, then when you're like 2 eggs just isn't enough. I used to think it was enough. Like that was it, right? So you can have that as part of it, but 2 eggs, you guys, is 12 grams of protein. That's it. Like really, we're like, really? That's it?
And I'm
That's
supposed to get
it.
25 or 30 per meal? Oh, right.
Yeah, so either then pack your 4 eggs, which is okay.
Yeah.
I just don't seem to love to eat that many eggs. I love my eggs and I eat eggs almost every morning, but I don't like to eat that 4 eggs would be a lot for me, at least.
Hmm.
Um, so you've got to have some other protein sources that are there. For me on the side, sometimes I'm loving my, Greek yogurt, and that's when I love to throw like just plain Greek yogurt, you guys, right? To get rid of all the extra sweeteners and everything that is thrown in there. Then you can sweeten it up. Like I have found an amazing granola that is full of flax seeds, chia seeds, and yes, it has some carbs in it, right? But it doesn't have any extra sweeteners or anything. So it gives me some crunch. It gives me a lot of extra fiber, antioxidants, that gives like a mixture there. But there's you do need to just sit down and eat. It's really hard on the go.
Yeah, it's really hard on the go. And oftentimes I'll get the comment, well, I'm really not hungry in the morning. And again, that's how we've trained ourselves. When we're thinking about, if I eat less, I'm going to lose weight. We have to step out of that mindset. And it's hard. It's harder than you think. Because there's so many women that are still stuck in that and they don't even know it. It's running so far back in their memory bank that they don't know that's what they're unconsciously doing when they're eating. Well, that's the right amount of meal. Now, you cannot get fat on chicken, fish, and veg. If it's real, not manufactured, you're cooking it, you do chicken, fish, and veg, nuts and seeds, real food, you cannot get fat on. It's really, really difficult to do. So get the combination, get real food. If you're not hungry in the morning, start slow in eating because your stomach will have to get used to any changes. And always remember that any changes in your diet has to be like a slow nudge. Allow your microbiome to shift and change and go, oh, is this the new normal? Okay. You know, we don't change our habits very easily, so neither do our microbiome. Give them a chance, right? Um, and if you do want to do a smoothie, again, make sure it's balanced. Get your yogurt in there if it's real yogurt, or if you're dairy, get a coconut yogurt or something like that. Don't do mounds of fruit and stuff. Don't always do spinach. Use kale, use romaine, use another kind, because we do the same thing. We're just feeding the same good bugs in our microbiome. We need diversity of that microbiome. So change it up. Change it up. Maybe do a smoothie one day, cook another day. Change it up. I know that sounds like work when we say it, But when you get into it, most people come back to me and say, I thought it was going to be hard, but it's really not as hard as I thought it would be. And it actually is easier than I thought it would be, but it helps with the whole flow of the morning.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
key. Yeah.
That's the key. Okay. So you guys, we hope that really that morning routine, that fueling yourself. But then Heidi, let's be real. The next thing that people really say is they make it through until that 2 and 3 o'clock, and then they get that afternoon sludge, right? That slump, that not feel good. And then they're looking for a pick me up
Mm-hmm.
versus a inside pick me up when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about generating the energy. So you guys, it's a beautiful time to like, oh, my body must be telling me I need to move. Oh, my body must be telling me like maybe I should hydrate more. Oh, my body must be telling me not that you need, to go to Starbucks. That's maybe what your brain thinks, but that's not what your body really wants. So, in that afternoon, like what happens to people? And is it really because they're not feeling enough or properly, or because so many people feel that afternoon blah?
Yeah. Such a great thing. So usually in the afternoon blah is going to be because we didn't fuel enough in the morning. It's always the meal before the last meal. So for our sleep, it's really what we eat at noon, whether we're good sleeping. When we sleep through the night and our blood sugar doesn't drop at 2 in the morning. Everyone thinks it's dinner. Well, I eat a good breakfast and a dinner. No, no, no. Lunch is it's important. So, but here you hit on a point, Kelly, that it's hydration. When we are not hydrated, the way our body tells us isn't like, oh, I'm thirsty and peckish, because if we wait for that, we're already dehydrated, right? It's fatigue, it's brain fog, it's sluggishness, it's ugh. And so getting up and moving and going to get just down a big thing of water and see what happens. Allow your body to get that water, get some hydration, and just see with that little bit your energy start to reemerge. And if it takes drinking that water outside, getting the sun without sunglasses, just take a look, walk around, take a few breaths, come back into the office. Nothing's going to happen in the 5 minutes that it takes you to do that. That will be, earth shattering. But you will come back a more invigorated, awake, focused, and you won't feel like, oh, I'm just drudging through. You're ready to finish the day and excited to finish the day. But it takes catching that moment and saying, up, I need to get some water. I need to go walk around 5 minutes. It doesn't take much. Again, it doesn't take much. It just takes intention.
I see Heidi a lot of times at lunch when people are going having lunch, they're drinking, but they're often drinking beverages that aren't hydrating them. So they feel that they're drinking, and then they don't get in that water a lot of times. And so that's what I would ask you guys is what are the beverages you're consuming? Because like you heard in the beginning, Heidi and I are all in for coffee, but not coffee with sugar, not coffee with a bunch of, crap in it. Whether it's black coffee, coffee with some almond milk, like do your thing, but be careful what you're putting in it. I see people in that lunch to early afternoon still all over the place, drinking soda, diet soda, a Monster, a Red Bull, stopping and getting drinks at any place, any Starbucks or anything, right? And so you guys are drinking, but all of that, you have to just think every single input to your body is either aiding to better energy or robbing you from energy. And
Right.
when you're doing all of that, it's like, oh, so just go to water, right?
Mhm.
Don't have the diet soda, just go to water. Or there are so many nootropics on the market out there that some are crap. So you do have to look for a clean and what are you drinking, what's inside of it. But there's plenty of options out there for things that like give your brain boosting power that are good for you.
Yeah.
So you gotta look for it and you gotta have it so it's readily available. I mean, Heidi and I are recording this in the morning. I've already had my coffee and I'm like, I've got my water, I've got my nootropic, right? I plan so I have lots to hydrate and drink for the day. And I need to have all this gone by early day before like other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So catch yourself of that afternoon slump and be really aware of what did I drink that my body thinks I'm hydrated and I'm really not. And maybe you just need an electrolyte. Maybe some people just like I just drinking plain water is like I can't do it. So again, nootropics, electrolytes. There's so many other options of drinking if you just don't want plain water.
Yeah. And you mentioned nootropics. And some people demand like, what do you mean? Is that like a monster drink? No, a nootropic is a combination of herbs and supplements that are really effective in activating the brain, the nervous system to work better. Whereas like a monster drink or something like that gives you this quick energy, but it actually rewires the brain in a negative way. It gives you such a big dopamine hit that then you almost become addicted, or it's short-lived, and so you're actually wanting more, which is some of the secrets behind, sodas and Coca-Colas and Pepsis and things like that, is they know that salt-sweet combination keeps us craving more. And so you want something that gives you nutritional components for your brain and your body, not just there's no such thing as energy in a can. That's a that's a pipe dream, right? Um, and yeah, so and if you want a coffee in the afternoon, an espresso is plenty. If you go to Europe, never do they bring you an espresso coffee without a glass of water. And if you watch all the Europeans at their, having their espressos, they all finish that glass of water with that coffee. So that's maybe something that you may want to do with yourself, a little bit of a challenge. Like every time I drink a cup of coffee, I have to drink at least that much in water and just kind of help your body flush that stuff through. But the sugary drinks, I don't even know why anyone grabs a soda anymore.
It's what I've really realized that especially when you're out and about and you don't have your own, you didn't bring anything and you're looking for something to drink. You go anywhere to order something, the only thing to order is water, coffee or tea, or a soda. Like there's not another option, which is so odd because there's so many healthier options that people can drink. But you go to a restaurant, you're out and about, but like they don't have another option for you to order. So you have to then be responsible for what am I eating and fueling to generate, right? You have to be ultimately responsible because we create and make our own energy.
Yeah.
So Heidi, let's just kind of we'll just, grab onto exercise and movement for a moment and then we'll do quickly evening wind down and then we'll make this a wrap, you guys, because I think in generating energy, it's a full day. It's not just one thing, it's a full day of generating energy. So let's go to kind of fitness and exercise, right? Because we love movement. The body is meant to move.
Yeah. So just like I said in the morning, when we get up in the morning, we're preparing to go to sleep. That's what's happening. The sun comes up, it's preparing to go back down. The moon comes up, it prepares to go back down. We're part of that movement, right? We cannot separate ourselves from that movement. So when we think about that and sort of wrap that around our minds, the best time to work out is in the morning. Not everyone is a morning workout person. So movement in the morning is great, but any time of the day, you do want to work out. Does it need to be boot camp? No. It just needs to be intentional, a little bit of stress, like stress in the body, stressing the vascular, breathing, getting out of breath. Um, these little pushes, these little nudges, are so impactful in terms of longevity, in terms of cellular health, our ability. Our body wants to detox naturally. It just does it. We don't have to go on a detox. But the way we can really push that detox system is by working out, breathing hard, sweating, getting plenty of water, like we said before, but the movement makes the energy. Nothing else gives us energy like movement and working out. So if we're feeling down, if you're feeling tired, depressed, anxious, the quickest way, and the science backs us up on this, stacks of the science, the quickest way out of those mood disorders is movement, is working out. So if it can get our brain to change the way it produces neurotransmitters, the way it views the world, our interpretation and perception of the world, think what it's doing to the perception of our cells, our microbiome. Everyone's happier when we move because it helps them function more efficiently.
Uh, Love, love, love that. Oh my gosh, you guys. And again, this is not a talk on exercise. We're talking about energy and that we are the power plant, but how do we generate it, right? So let's finish the day, Heidi, with our wind down, right? We could talk quickly about dinner. And I think most everybody knows that you shouldn't be eating at, 9, 10 at night. So get your meal in at least by 3 hours before you go to bed. And again, fuel well, watch what you're eating. This isn't a podcast about nutrition either, you guys. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that other than now you know you need a balanced meal. But in this preparation for bed, in order to get sleep and this deep restorative sleep, you guys, I'm a big person of like, we've got to sleep because if you can't repair and restore, it's all for nothing. So,
Yeah.
but how you prepare the body for this luxurious, beautiful process that's about to happen is important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kelly, you can talk more about your 3-2-1 that you so eloquently talk about often to establish that wind down. And I love that. And so definitely want you to mention it. But going to sleep is a little bit should be a ritual. Like morning, we want to get up, we gotta move. I'm facing the day. Hello, world, watch out for me. But at the end, it should be this gratitude, this ritual, this letting go, release, let go. The day's done. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to judge. Again, we don't want to wake up with judgment. We don't want to go to sleep with judgment, but allowing the day to shut down, wind down with gentleness and intention. But I love the rituals. For example, I love to have a cup of tea before I go to bed. It's just, and even my 5-year-old knows, are you going to have your tea and then come and check on me? Yes, I'm going to have my tea and then come and check on you. But that's one of my rituals that really helps my brain and my nervous system know when I'm having this cup of tea, it's time to wind it down. It's time to go to sleep. So, Kelly, if you want to expound more on your 3-2-1, I think that's so important in developing that ritual.
In developing that ritual, Heidi, and that's exactly it. And you guys, when we talk this, Heidi and I are not perfect. Okay. I mean, I had a night last night. My husband's a little under the weather, so I because he's coughing and stuff, I slept in a different bed. That's already like oh my gosh, it's not your own environment. Two, our youngest daughter is traveling, to Europe. So I'm like, her time zones of where she's at is in the middle of night for us. But I'm, again, I'm mother hen. So I was a little bit texting with her literally throughout the night. I did not have a great night last night, but I know that. And so that's okay. I can't do that every night, right? So I'm just saying nothing's perfect, but you have to have a plan. So then,
Mhm.
okay, tonight, I can't wait for my wind down, right? I don't have that extra worry. I don't have, I can't wait. So in that, yeah, like make sure you're planning your meals so that you're not eating about 3 hours before you go to bed. You should not be in the middle of digesting when you're trying to go to sleep, right? Your body has other jobs to do when you're sleeping versus, I mean, none of us like to go to bed on a full stomach. Sometimes, of course, we all have probably, and you're like, oh God, just don't feel great, right? So with that, then we look at that's three. Two is what is your wind down routine uh of topics, meaning activity, intensity, your brain needing brain power. It's not the time to say with your husband or spouse, like, we're planning our vacation or let's go over our finances or, right? That's not the time to get like jazzed up. It's okay. All those conversations, I'm going to put anything from my work or leftover of the day, or if kids have a topic, like, let's get to it. because I don't want to talk to them about like a field trip or something big happening 30 minutes before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I mean, who's all been at fault if they've been in bed and to their partner they say something that is unfortunately like a little bit of a hot topic, and I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't mean to start this now, right? Because then your brain just so be mindful of what are you thinking about. So that whole activity level, 2 hours for sure. And then 1 hour, like completely off screens. Before we never had screens like this. I mean, granted, maybe we all had television and some people used to fall asleep to that. Don't do that either. But this phone and computer screen, your eyes, your brain, it's input, input, input. When Heidi's talking about don't judge, every single time if you're on this thing and you're like, oh, I'm just relaxing, I'm just scrolling. Okay. Every single person's post that they make, your brain can't help but judge it. Good, bad, yes or no, comparison. So you think, oh, I'm just winding down. Oh no, your brain's like it is going crazy. So you have to teach yourself. There's nothing here I need to see, know, do, and it's off. And I'm not attached. And in the morning, the same thing. You don't want to be grabbing for that in the morning.
Yep.
I might look at the weather before I take the dogs out for a walk, so I want to know how cold it is and do I need a hat? But I'm not turning on my social media apps. I'm not going into my emails. That's going to happen when I'm ready for it. I'm going to control my day. That's not going to, other people's agenda is not going to control my day. It's not the way to get me to generate energy.
Yeah. I love that. Someone else's agenda isn't going to control my day. And we get caught in that trap and we don't even know it till we're in it. Like,
But we're
how did
in
we
it.
get here? Yeah. So good.
Exactly. So you guys, Heidi and I are going to talk more about energy, but we wanted to give this big broad overview on let's make 2026 it. And
Yeah.
if you can actually follow what we just said, it's going to help you not only with your energy, it's going to help you with your sleep. It's going to help you with feeling good because you're fueling. It's going to help you with your overall blood sugar management and metabolic health. It's going to like actually there's a lot of profound effects when you manage your energy well.
Yeah. Energy's it's the key. It's the fuel, the battery that pushes us through hard times, helps us enjoy things even immerse ourselves in joy even more. So we always think of energy as an outward thing, but energy is an inward thing. It allows us to love more, experience more, have more joy, have more focus, and be willing to take more little risks. Adventure.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, Heidi. This was phenomenal, you guys. I really hope you got something out of this. If any of you are over on social media, please put in the comments like what was your number one takeaway from generating energy? And if you're over on our podcast listening, please drop us, a review. Tell us what your favorite thing was. We really want to know. We're going to have more and upcoming, there's going to be a challenge so that we can help you actually learn to generate more energy on a day-to-day basis because it's something that we're not taught. So Heidi and I want to help you figure out that like recipe for you so that every day you're like on top of your game with that energy and no more will you have to walk into a practitioner's office or say, God, I just wish I had more energy. I just, don't feel great, right? So create, you are in charge. You're your own power plant. You're in charge of creating that energy. So Heidi, any other closing thoughts or is it a wrap for today?
I think it's a wrap today. Go get your energy. It's in you. Just pull it out. Summon it.
Summon your best, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you guys, until next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.